Public House Stroke Boxing Academy is probably his masterpiece, because all at once you have this location for the wealthy gambling population. They can go and slake their thirsts, lay bets, organize. It's a place where writers and people from all sorts of society go. But most of all, this is a place where Richmond can groom his own stable of boxers.
Now in his 40s, it seemed that Bill had it all: money, respect, and a cozy niche in London's high society. But he was about to be pitched right back into the turmoil of the prize ring. Nobody knows for sure where Tom Molineaux came from. He said he was a Virginia cotton slave who'd won his freedom in a prize fight. He claimed to be the American champion. Now he wanted to take on England's best, and he wanted Bill to help him. The big man looked good, but could he box? He could box.
Richmond saw his potential. I mean, Richmond was very streetwise and boxing-wise and knew the sporting scene inside out. And he obviously thought, I can do something with this character.
The wounds of Bill's defeat at the hands of Tom Cribb had cut deep. And to add insult to injury, Bill's arch-rival had gone on to become the undisputed English champion. But in Molineaux, he'd found a crude, raw fighter, 6 foot and 14 stone of pure muscle. And what he lacked in style, he made up for with sheer power.
Richmond had this burning desire to get that championship. He couldn't win it himself, but Molineaux could win it.
Bill used all his contacts to fix Molineaux up with a trial fight. His adversary was to be a hard case from Bristol by the name of Tom Tough. And to add a little spice to the contest, Bill had picked an opponent who was trained by Tom Cribb himself. The American was a sensation. Molineaux disposed of Cribb's protege with contempt. It was a calculated slap in the face for the champion. Honor and the entire boxing world now demanded satisfaction. The big fight was on. For the first time in history, a black man would now contest the boxing championship of all England. And for some, it was one step too far.
Richmond, he's clearly aware that the fact that he hadn't achieved the championship allowed him a special place in the nation's affections. Here was someone who had failed, but failed well and failed nobly. Richmond, he wasn't a serious threat to the national identity. Suddenly, along comes Tom Molineaux, who is.
At his academy in London's West End, Bill knuckled down to coach his protege in the finer points of the pugilistic arts. But there were some rough edges that weren't so easily knocked off.
Suddenly, here was the greatest city in the world, wide open to him. And wine, women, and song. And he jumped in head first.
London looked on in horror as the uncouth Virginia slave publicly helped himself to the city's dirtiest pleasures.
Richmond said to him, "Look, boy, this is England. You know, we have to behave in certain ways. We have to be role models. If you were to get on in society, don't swear so much. Wash your hands. Eat with a knife and fork. Imitate the behavior of an English gentleman, but don't ever think that you're an English gentleman. Know your place." Richmond would have tried to take the paganism out of Molineaux because it was taken out of him. I use that in inverted commas, those terms. And of course he failed, gloriously.
The Cribb-Molineaux match had now become far more than just a boxing contest. At stake was nothing less than the soul of the nation.
Tom Cribb, the champion, he is a man celebrated in popular songs as, well, if Napoleon invades us, we'll just set Tom Cribb on him. The French don't stand a chance.
On the 18th of December, of a fight I will sing, when both Cribb and Molineaux, they have entered the ring.
You'd have seen every road clogged with these ants inching their way down every lane, every main road, every side road, across every stile, all going towards this same spot. There was a madness about being there. You tell your children and grandchildren, I was there.
With hope, expectation, and our hearts beating high, while the rain poured in torrents from a dark, lowering sky.
The whole country was interested. It was the greatest sporting event of the century.
The black strips appeared of a giant-like strength, large in bone, large in muscle, with arms a cruel length.
The main emotional thrust of this contest in the heart of England was one about identity. Can the title be held by a non-Briton? Can the title be held by a black person?
With skin black as ebony, Cribb as white as snow, they shook hands like good fellows, then to it they did go.
This is a battle of tremendous skill and desperation. Cribb receives a dreadful blow to the mouth that makes his teeth chatter.
Cribb had gravely underestimated the American. For 18 rounds, Molineaux soaked up his best shots and returned them blow for blow.
Molineaux would just keep coming at you. There was no respite. He wouldn't let his opponents back up and take a rest. He would just keep on at them and keep on at them and keep on at them. And it's quite disconcerting to have a man like that just won't let you go. Even if you're hurting him badly, he still just keeps coming at you. But a bit of the attitude of the Mike Tyson.
Cribb plants a tremendous blow over Molineaux's eyebrows.
When Cribb punched him in the eye and hurt him very badly, Molineaux's response was just to charge at the man, pick him up and throw him to the floor.
Cribb and his supporters were shocked by the power and ferocity of the black man's attack.
We know that people shouted quite openly, "Don't let the nigger beat you, don't let old England down." Because it was thought that the valor and the fortitude shown by boxers were the kind of virtues that the English possessed. It was the kind of virtues that led them to build an empire. So that if Tom Molineaux is showing these values, obviously it was seen by some people as a kind of a threat to the whole edifice of British superiority.
After 30 minutes, both men were badly battered. But in the 19th round, the Englishman began to crack.
Cribb is got by Molineaux against the ropes. Oh, the champion appears exhausted.
As his old rival sank to his knees, Bill Richmond looked on and savored the sweet taste of success.
I suppose Richmond, being a black man who was white but not quite there, probably would have had a sense of revenge. You would have thought, yes, yes, all this that I had to suffer in England, all this whiteness that I had to acquire, all this politeness coming out of my mouth, you know, there would have been a kind of sense of revenge, you see.